Hi, my name is RJ Mathews, and I did my research paper on Bernard Madoff and his Ponzi scheme. Bernard Madoff, for 3 decades, successfully operated the largest Ponzi scheme in history. He swindled investors for $65 billion over the course of those 3 decades. Quick background on him. He was born in Queens, New York, to his father Ralph, who worked in Wall Street and was successful in Wall Street. In 1960, Bernie Madoff graduated from Hofstra College and later in that same year formed Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities, LLC. He created this entity with money that he had earned as a lifeguard and installing sprinkler systems, and it was about $5,000 that he formed the entity with. He rapidly grew his assets to the point in 1973, a short 13 years later, he reported $1.1 million in assets. How did he do this? Well, number one, he created a certain aura about himself. He became well respected in the industry. He surrounded himself with powerful people. He made friends with NASDAQ and was instrumental in implementing a number of different things with NASDAQ, and NASDAQ named him their chairman. The SEC appointed him to industry panels, and Congress invited him to testify. He made powerful friends, and he kept them close. It's what they say, you keep your friends close and your enemies closer, to the point where he had such a respect and aura about him that it almost seemed laughable that he could do or be involved in any wrongdoing. Secondly, he created this private club where his investors felt like they were part of an exclusive private club, and each one felt as though they were his only client, and that there really were a few number of clients, when in reality, he was getting clients far beyond what they ever thought that he had. Each investor felt that they gained access to this exclusive club, that they were getting these returns from that no other investment firm could offer them. And these investors in return were sworn to secrecy. They couldn't talk about what was going on with the investments, and they really didn't even know. And the penalty of disclosing any information was that their so-called membership in these clubs would be revoked, and Bernard Madoff would return their money, and they wouldn't get these returns any longer. And so they were incentivized to not say anything. And he also kept a tight grip on his operations so as to keep them private as well. And so he really had a grip on the information flow. Harry Markopoulos is the famous whistleblower who brought the Madoff case to light. He was a math whiz hired by an investment firm in Boston to duplicate Madoff's model. And after research and crunching numbers and running numerous tests, Madoff finally concluded that it was mathematically impossible to have the returns that Madoff had over all those years, and decided that Madoff was doing something illegal, and even went so far as to say it was a Ponzi scheme. He repeatedly informed the SEC, and he even tried to take his findings to news outlets. And he pursued this Madoff scheme for nearly a decade, until late in 2008 it was uncovered when a number of Madoff's clients were seeking their money back and wanted to be paid out, and amidst rapid market decline, Madoff couldn't raise the funds and didn't have it to pay it back, and finally in December of 2008 confessed to his sons that he had been operating a Ponzi scheme, and they turned him into the SEC. In March 2009, Madoff pled guilty to 11 charges, including fraud and money laundering, and later was sentenced to 150 years in prison. Madoff's scheme affected many, his family, and those that invested money in it. How can we avoid this? Well, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is.